Well, there's Kirk Mason and Yampa. You remember that, Jim?
Yeah, a little bit.
There's Jim. Kirk would get stuck with a tractor, and then Jim would go get a rope and pull him out. Kirk had his arm in a cast. He had a broken arm.
Jim's still pulling people out.
Are we supposed to be talking now?
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah,
that's in Yampa. That's Jim. He got a rope pulling Kirk. Kirk Mason was out there visiting, and he'd had an accident with a. Now he gets stuck, and Jim's got a rope on the front of him, and he's going to pull him out.
Do you think maybe him not being on there might have been easier?
Yeah, Jim knew how to use ropes and get out of mud. He was always getting stuck with these little tractor, and that was the last year we were in Yampa. About 1960, 61, I can't remember the exact year.
And what was your teaching job?
What? Oh.
I just said, what was your teaching job then?
I was teaching vocational agriculture in a high school, and I also taught chemistry and physics, but I didn't know anything about that. I had to teach it anyway. There's Aunt May from England. She was visiting with us.
And Ardith Morris with the black hair.
And Mama's, that's the back side of her house at Yampa. And that is
Aunt May.
Aunt May. We had a 59 Volkswagen bus. I think it had a 35 horsepower motor. That's downtown Yampa. That's the better part of Yampa. There's Granddad Morris and Aunt May from England. That's at the house at Granby, the ranch house.
Grandma Leah and Aunt May.
And there's a load of poles at Granby. Jim Boyd and I used to sell firewood. So we cut wood up in the high country, and the kids would go with us up and drag logs out, and we'd cut it into wood and sell it. $15 a cord. There's Judy. That's Jim sawing wood.
I think that's Judy.
Yeah, I think
Is that Judy?
That's me there.
Oh, yeah. That is Judy.
I tried it once and forgot it. Jim stuck with it.
There's the cattle there were the Murphy boys. They were our neighbors at Granby, and they'd move the cattle down the road in the wintertime to where they had more hay. They'd go through our ranch with their cattle. That's on the main highway there, just before they got to the ranch.
Highway 40.
Highway 40, between Tabernacle and Granby. That's Johnny Murphy. There's Mom skiing at, I don't know where that was at, probably Winter Park. We skied at Steamboat in Winter Park most of the time. I think that's Winter Park, probably. riding the ski lift up at ski lodge at Winter Park. The old ski lodge, we got about 5 of them there now. That's right near the bottom of the hill at Winter Park. There's Mom.
She always could snowplow.
I don't know if it was a snowy day or if it just a bad film or what. It sure it's not very clear. She's getting up ahead of steam there. I think that's it. That's at Yampa. A friend of mine had that backhoe.
Those haven't changed that much over the years, have they, Jim?
And actually, he was a relative of the DeBerard family, and he and I worked together at DeBerard's quite a bit when we were kids. And later on, he worked in the Yampa Valley with that track hoe, building ditches.
I bet he didn't need a permit.
No permits in those days, 1960. That was in the springtime. The frost hadn't completely gone out of the ground yet. The backhoe wouldn't dig in the frost very good. Frozen ground.
This is a wedding.
Oh, that was
Maybe
in
at
Denver.
Dorothy's. No?
I think that was that in Dorothy's wedding? Maybe?
There's,
We went to 2 or 3 weddings in Denver. Yeah, that was probably in Denver at Wes's wedding, maybe. Our friend Wes.
there's Grandma Morris and Jim and Judy.
That was her license plate in Routt County. Wait a minute now, that, I don't know who that is. That might have been Fred Rilling's wedding. Fred was a very good friend of mine. Went to college with him, and he worked for us. Yeah, that was Fred and Thelma
What town was this in?
in Denver. Fred and Thelma, yeah.
Put your hand down.
Keystone Inn, that. Mom and I went skiing with Marv and Burnham at Keystone near Loveland Pass.
There's an elk or a deer?
Yeah, big elk.
Big elk?
Oh, that was that big elk that almost got Judy. We lived in that house, and he came walking in the road. And Judy was out playing in the road, and the snowbanks are real high on both sides. And she made a run for the house, and the elk didn't get her. He was a big old bull, and he was really old, and he died a few days later. That was right behind our house. I think that was in May, I think early May, and the snow was still on the ground. And Dorothy had sent those little skis for Jimmy and Judy. And they were out following Dad around on their skis.
This is right on the banks of Grand Lake.
On the bank, on the Shadow Mountain Reservoir Lake, right below Grand Lake. And Judy fell down here and twisted her leg real bad. Does that say April?
April 1st,
April 1st. Yeah.
1962.
Yeah, the snow was deep that winter. I was teaching in Hot Sulphur Springs that year, grade 6. I had to drive about 30 miles each way, and that was about the only entertainment Jim and Jude had, was going out in the snow. During the daytime, they'd sit in the house sometimes on cold days, and they'd cut paper up with little scissors. About 3 miles away in the town of Grand Lake, they had a rope tow and a little ski hill, and you could just push a button and it'd start up an electric motor, and anytime you wanted to go skiing, you just go over there and push the button and ride the tow up to the hill. Any kid in town could go over there and ski whenever they wanted to.
Isn't this where Jim burned his coat really badly? At the bus stop? At Roan's house?
I don't remember.
Yes, it
Do you
is.
remember that?
We
What?
had a wood stove out in the,
Oh yeah, we had a
wood stove that we
a
would
wood
sit-
stove out in a little shack along the highway where you'd wait for the bus. That's right. We'd build a fire in that little shack, and Mom would wait with you for the school bus. Yeah, that's right. That's the lyric in this, and And that must be Kevin, or is that Jim? And Judy. I think that's Kevin.
That's Kevin Kniss.
They lived in Portland. We drove the Volkswagen bus out here when they were just little kids. That must have been 1960.
Well, that's Larry Kniss and Judy.
They lived near that big high hill in Portland at that time. Can't remember the name of it. There's Larry and Kevin and Judy. Larry and Phyllis's car. He just started working for IBM not too long before that.
Couldn't reach the other street.
I don't know if that was Phyllis and Larry's dog or not. They might have had a dog. That was Dorothy's Volkswagen. Little black beetle bug.
Now we're in Battleground, Washington.
We're turning her just as a joke. There's Granddad Rogers and his dog Ike. That was before he had his heart attack, I think. There's Dorothy and Kevin and Jim and Jude. That's right in front of the house on a Dollar's Corner. Granddad was teaching them how to dig dandelions.
In Colorado, Grandma Leah would teach us how to make dandelion tea with them.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good for you. I don't recognize this yet. Oh, that's that first horse we got named Carrot. Judy was riding Carrot. That was probably in the late 60s.
There's John.
There's Jim plowing with Granddad's old tractor. That was that John?
That's John.
Yeah, that's John. I don't remember where that was.
I think that was hooked onto that big tree out back.
All by the ditch?
Ditch.
Yeah, it probably was. John on the horse. That horse never was real dependable. He was a pretty high-strung horse, and he wasn't safe to ride out of the corral. That corral is where the old shop building is now.
Oh, brand new blacktop.
Blacktop, yeah. John had that X-15 three-wheeler. He could really spin that thing around. And what was that you were on there, Jim? A lawnmower?
I think it is a lawnmower.
Yeah, we did have a lawnmower for a short time. It looked like that. Yeah, that was brand new blacktop we put down in front of both houses.
I think that's Pinky Melvin.
Yeah, that kid's named him Pinky Melvin. I don't know where we got him, some dairy, I guess. I don't think we had a milk cow yet then.
My friend Melvin Playstead had red hair. He was the only person I knew with such red hair, so I named my calf after him.
Oh, he broke the lead, and when he got a little bigger, the kids rode him quite a bit.
Oh, there's the old barn on
Yeah,
219th Street.
And Jim was interested in trucks way back in those days. I don't remember that black dog.
I think this is back in Colorado now.
Oh, is that maybe? Oh, yeah. It's out behind the shop at Granby. The Morris Ranch. There's Granddad. No, there's Larry Walden, I think. Grandma Morris, she's teaching Judy to dance. Kind of the old garage they had. Yeah. There's Grandma Morris doing it with the kids. They all sit down.
Was that dog's name Queenie?
I think that might have been Queenie. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember where this was at.
That's Jim.
It's the old farmhouse. And that might have been, well, this is, when Jim Boyd and I took a contract to stack 26,000 bales of hay on a slash J ranch.
How many bales?
26,000.
Wow.
We got 6 cents a bale. I used that tractor to push them in and put them on a conveyor belt, and then Jim would stack them up on the stack. We'd get about 1,000 a day. That was pretty good money in those days. It was a lot more than we're getting, a lot more than school teaching paid. Jim Boyd's father-in-law owned that ranch, and he had it leased out to some big rich guy, and he hired us to stack the bales. Every day Mom would bring the kids down there with some cold lemonade, and we'd take a break. It was about 8,000 feet. September 3rd, 61, the snow on the ground.
Look at the kitty, Jim. Maybe that's the kitty Great-Grandma Morris brought us with the tail hanging out.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, the snow never did melt off that year. It stayed on until April or May of the next year. I had a wood contract to supply the campgrounds with wood, and it snowed so hard that the tourists quit coming, and I couldn't sell any wood. We had 3 big campgrounds, and we'd have to deliver wood. And Mom would take that old Volkswagen bus and load it full of wood, and the kids would go to one campground. I'd take the truck, load of wood, and go to another campground. We'd stack it up in the campground. The tourists would pay 50 cents a bundle on the honor system.
That wagon is one that Grandpa Rogers built for me. It was a wooden wagon.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Give him the cattle ride. Yeah, I remember that was Labor Day, and a lot of tourists are up there at the campgrounds in tents, and the tents all mashed down.